So welcome to the APM Operational Excellence session. So just as a little introduction about asset performance management, I want to first talk about, take a little higher picture, and then I'm going to drill in. The higher picture is overall asset lifecycle management, where we have this old vision, old and ugly, we got something better, where there's this linear approach where you have the design and build, operate and maintain, and then retire. We didn't like that for a couple of reasons. One, there seems to be way too much emphasis on the design and build of the original plant. Not much emphasis on operate and maintain, which is a heck of a lot longer. So we came up with this other model that kind of talks about the entire life cycle, and then there's a feedback, and you have a lot of upgrades and refurbishments that go on that better represents this iterative improvement of a plant or a facility or an asset. Starts off with the design and build side, so it's more project-oriented. Goes over to asset performance management, which we'll talk about in a little bit more detail, the operate and maintain side, and then a portfolio where you keep track of the projects that have been proposed. Some are above the line, they get done. The ones that are below the line stay in a list that you maintain maybe for the next time. To kind of validate this model, we drilled into things like the different applications and the metrics and stuff like that. In this particular slide, I'm talking about the applications. We find that they also fall into these three different spheres. You've got a set of applications used for the project, the design and build, the set of applications that are really focused around the performance of that asset in the operate and maintain arena, and then different applications for project portfolio management. And you can think of these as three separate segments of users, because the people behind them, you got engineering on the left, you got more maintenance and operations on the right, different users, and they describe three different market segments, people with common interests. And this business model can be used to analyze your processes and optimize your business processes and what applications should be integrated together. So it's a good planning tool. It is not needed by the people in this room. You probably all are looking at this slide and saying it's pretty obvious, but we find it's very useful talking to your peers so that when you're having a conversation with somebody in IT who has no concept at all of asset lifecycle management, you can start talking in terms that they can understand and grasp and do what you really need to be done. So let's drill down a little bit into the APM circle. It deals with production, with their metrics, objectives, and then maintenance, with objectives that are different but supportive. So they are not in conflict, usually. But typically, they operate on different silos. Sometimes, depending on the organization, there's a pretty solid wall there. Sometimes there's a couple of bricks missing and they actually can talk to each other. But they are two separate organizations. And what asset performance management brings to it is some collaboration going on between those groups so they get to truly improve asset performance management and get to the overall organizational objectives. So it's collaborative in nature.